What's up everyone, Daniel here.
And it goes a little something like
Here's a super loaded question. What is good design? I think good design, when it's properly done, is human-centered. Why do we make products, systems, or services? We make them for people to use. Good design is human-centered. It's designed for people, it's made for people, and it's used by people. Human-centered design is the process of ensuring people's needs are met. The resulting product is understandable and usable. It accomplishes the desired tasks, and the experience of use is positive and enjoyable. I'm going to go through two really interesting examples which demonstrate what good design really is. The first is a vegetable peeler. In the past, vegetable peelers used to be painful, uncomfortable, and really hard to use. And everyone assumed this is just how they had to be. And along came the revolutionary OXO peeler. It was designed to help someone with arthritis to be able to effectively peel their vegetables. Even though the vegetable peeler was designed for people with arthritis, it was marketed as a better peeler for everyone. Even though the peeler was more expensive than the inexpensive peeler, it was designed so well that it was just a success. Because the design was so good, it reached everyone, especially those people with arthritis. Today, the OXO peeler and similar variations of that design are so common that you probably don't even know what the old uncomfortable peeler used to be like. The second example is the modern touchscreen. In the early 2000s, human-computer interaction was a mess. For example, zooming in on an image or a document meant clicking in a menu, scrolling to find the desired zoom, clicking on it, and then it's zooming. Today, that is completely different. All we need to do is just pinch and zoom into what we want to zoom into. Touchscreens existed in the early 2000s, but they were predominantly resistive touch, like those really hard to press ATMs that you might still see today. They require a lot of force to action. On smaller screens, this technology was not really user-friendly, and it was really difficult and frustrating for users. And in came a company called Fingerworks, which changed our world completely. They invented capacitive multi-touch technology. That's the same fast, accurate, and easy-to-use touchscreen that you enjoy on all your devices today. In the early 2000s, Fingerworks released a trackpad that helps people with wrist injuries be able to use their computer without aggravating the injuries further. At the same time, Apple was also working on their first ever phone. They bought Fingerworks and used this technology, and the rest is history. The design for the touchscreen that changed our world came from the intention to help people with a certain specific condition, a wrist injury. Another quick bonus story about the iPhone. Do you remember the old slide to unlock feature? The original inspiration for the slide to unlock came from the mechanism on airplane toilets where you slide to unlock the door. The original design team at Apple tested this technology with a 3-year-old. They handed the prototype to a 3-year-old, and without hesitation, the 3-year-old managed to unlock it. If a 3-year-old can do it, anyone can. What do all these examples have in common? They're all accessible, usable, and desirable. Accessible design takes into consideration people with specific needs. The vegetable peeler example considered people with arthritis. The touchscreen example considered the needs of people with wrist injuries. Good design is accessible. Usable and usability refers to how easy to use a design is. The vegetable peeler example was so easy to use that it became superior to the inexpensive peeler. The slide to unlock feature on the original iPhone was so easy to use that even a 3-year-old with no exposure to that sort of technology could open it without hesitation. For desirable, all of these examples are really desirable. Who wouldn't want a vegetable peeler that's really easy to use and effectively peels vegetables? And who wouldn't want a phone that you can touch and perform so many functions on so easily? It meets people's wants and needs. Good design doesn't discriminate or have an opinion or have any sort of prejudice. Good design doesn't create new problems from solving old ones. And good design doesn't take away value from the way we live. So, how do we do good design? There are 4 traditional stages to good design. There's understand, ideate, prototype, and test. In understand, you watch and observe how people do their activities, what's important to them, and understand how they behave. In ideate, you generate a lot of ideas about what the real issues are. and ideate potential solutions on how to solve those problems. In prototype, you develop a concept that's a hypothesized, practical solution based on what you observed and what you ideated. And in test, you test the prototype and refine the design. But there's a problem with the traditional method to design. It's not really feasible in our fast-paced environment. It's far too linear, meaning there's a supposed beginning, middle, and end. But things change all the time. That's why I believe that good design is iterative. It's constantly being iterated and changed based on how people change, how our environment changes, how our technology changes, and how everything changes. It's continuous iteration. The process is circular. To go back to the Apple example, you might think that Apple hasn't changed much or innovated recently, but if you compare the first iPhone to the latest iPhone, it's in a completely different league. Apple's secret is continuous improvement and iteration. They understand that their consumers change, and such their design changes. And it remains the most popular phone for a reason. We can do good design if we follow a human-centered approach and design for people today and tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.